everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and I've got glue all over my fingers, so let me just rub that off. Ugh. That's from earlier crafting. Okay, so this week we're going to make this. Now this doesn't look like much, it's just a little box and it has a little card inside. Now once again it looks tiny, and please don't look at my card because this wasn't Stampin' Up card and it cracked, but this was my prototype. So when you untie it, you flip it open, and it is called a carousel card. So it will actually tie together here on this end. I'm not doing it really tightly at the moment, but it's a carousel card. See, you've got all these different things on all the other sides. How gorgeous is that? And it's quite a large card once it's finished. It's 6 by 6 once it's laying flat. But that's what it's called. But it fits into this little box that I made to go with it. So it's really gorgeous. Great for something a little bit different, even though it looks very tiny. It does. It's only, once it's once it is, there we go. Once it's all folded up like this, is only 3 by 3. So that's why I made this little box to present it in. I don't know what I did wrong with my lid on this one, but it's a little bit big, so I don't know whether I measured something wrong or not. But it is only my prototype, so I'm not actually too worried. Now, I've actually done three quarters of this project, because each section is exactly the same, so we don't need to see me sit here making up all these sections. So I've put them out the way for now, and I'm using this new set called Unbound Love, which has got all these lovely sayings on it, and it coordinates lovely with these beautiful dies here. So I've actually cut out quite a few things. I don't know what I'll do with them all. Using this die and this die here, just to put together some of it. So I've actually stamped them too and got them all ready. So we've only got one little bit of stamping to do. Okay, so we're going to actually make the card and the box today. So altogether you're going to need 4 pieces of card that measure 6 by 6. Now if you've got a piece of 12 by 12, which is why I use this Blushing Bride, because I don't buy 12 by 12 very often. I don't use enough of it to warrant paying out for it. But if you don't have it, just use your A4, but you'll need 4 sheets, because unfortunately you can't get them all out of that. But you will be able to use 2 of your sheets to make the box lid. So because out of 6 and 5 and whatever that is, a quarter, 6 and 5 is 11 and a quarter. So you would get 2 pieces out of the, oh my goodness, I can't even think straight, out of an A4 sheet. So you'd only have 2 pieces that are left over. But as I say, I had 12 by 12 in this, so that's what I use. So you need 4 of those 6 by 6. You're going to need 4 pieces of designer series paper that measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and they're the ones for the bottom of the piece here that they'll fold up into. Okay, so I've only got one, as I say, because I'm going to be making everything else. Now that's all my sayings, so I'm just going to put them on the side. You're going to need 10 pieces of card. Don't know why that stuck to that. 10 pieces of card that measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 as well. And then you're going to need 9 pieces of designer series paper that measure 2.5 by 2.5, which will go on top of those. And 1 piece of white card that measures 2.5 by 2.5. You're also going to need 2 pieces of ribbon, which are approximately 10 inches in length. That is the best I could do for ribbon. That's a retired ribbon. Now that's for the card. So I will actually make the card and then we will make the box, and I will go through the measurements for the box afterwards. So we're going to do our scoring first. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. I'm going to use this scoreboard because I've got a nice line down the middle, so I can do this. Okay, so I'm going to score this at 3 inches using a small ball because we're using cardstock, and at 3 inches. And then I'm going to score this also down at 2.5 inches, just down to that first score line there, like so. The square opposite that, where you've got that extra line, I'm going to pop this on the diagonal, and we're going to score on the diagonal next to this line. So you've got the 2 lines there, so it's going to be next to that. If you do that on all of them, they all work around in a circle together. Okay, so we've done that, and what we're going to do now is we're actually going to remove this section here, that piece where we did the second score line. Now if you feel confident about cutting that with your cutting tool, you can go ahead and do that. I don't like doing that. I always go over the edge. When you cut the wedge on this one, you need it to be on the same angle as that one, which is the 45-degree angle. You'll see that you'll need that so that when this folds, let me show you, it folds nicely and not get stuck in it. Okay, this one is not quite so important, but that's the way it's going to be. Alright, so we've done that. We're now going to fold all of these lines. So we're going to fold this one up and this one up, making sure that it stays nice and square. The squarer you keep your card, the better it goes together. Turn it over and fold that one up as well. And then our one in the middle, we're going to fold the opposite way. So we're going to fold that back on itself. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to then glue this down. Now the best way, you can't, I guess you could put these pieces on here first. I guess you could put all of them on there first if you're doing it this way, but we'll go through the way I've been shown how to do this card, because I'm actually following somebody else's instructions. But I'm sure that as long as you made sure you got them all right, you would be okay to do them laying flat like that. But we will do this way. Okay, so I've got glue all over this again. I'm going to have to sit here and pick it all off one day. Ah, dearie me, I do hate it when all this glue gets stuck on here and I can't get the glue out of the little hole. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put this on the outside. So we need to glue this piece on the inside here. And we don't have any glue coming out because it's actually got jammed in there again. There we go. That's better. And then we're going to pop that down tight so that it's flush with the bottom of the card before we pop that up. So that way we know that this is flush with the bottom of the card. You really want that as flush to the bottom of the card as possible. It just sits so much better if it's flush. And then it will fold up like so, and we can then give that a nice burnish each piece. Alright, so we're now going to build this piece up like we did the other. So we're going to bring in our trimmer, and with our piece of DSP that measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and make sure it's a DSP piece, not the layer piece. This is going to go on the bottom, so we're going to cut that on the diagonal, Now if I'm cutting all 4 together, I would just put them together on top of each other like that, so I know to pick them up and that's a pair. That way I know that they go together like so. And I'm going to glue those onto the bottom of this piece here. And I'm going to make sure that I don't go over that fold line there. So, and then I'm going to pop the other one on this side over here. Oops, I'm going to just get my fingers in the way, sorry about that. Then I can just give them a nice brush down. So you've got a bit of a gap there, but that's so that it folds up nicely in the middle. Now I'm going to take 2 of these pieces that measure 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, along with 2 pieces of my designer series paper, and glue those together. And this is for each section, so you do 4 sections exactly the same. Now if you've got directional paper, when you're gluing it together, because these are square, it doesn't matter, but when you're putting it inside your card, you do need to watch what you're doing. This paper is retired, but I wanted to use it up because I've got so much paper and I just really want to use up some of my older paper. And I don't have a lot of the new ones yet. Okay, so they're done. Making sure that I've got this up the right way. Yep, that's the right way up. I'm going to glue this to the inside of this box piece. So I'm going to glue that to the back side of this piece here. It's better to do this as you go, because it's easier to handle than if you're doing all of them when they're glued together, which is what we're going to do next. Okay, so let's see which way up this goes. I don't really know. This one just doesn't really have a right or wrong way. That way I think is more like it. So we'll pop it that way. And we're going to pop that piece on the inside there, like so. And once again, I'm going to squash that down. Okay, then we're going to bring in all 4 pieces. Now, if you can possibly do it, make sure that you've got 2 edges with nothing on them, no joins, that come together. And that will be your opening. Okay, and all the others have joins on them. So, once we've done that, I like to just mark them so that I can do this. So I'll put a 1 there and a 1 there, so I know that those 2 go together. I'm going to put a 2 there and a 2 there, so that I know those 2 go together. And so that I've got a plain one here and a plain one here, I'm going to put a 3 here along with a 3 here. So I know that I can glue those together like that. And when I open my box, like this, whoops, come up there, this back one and this front one do not have anything on them. So before I glue them together, I'm actually going to now bring in my double-sided tape, and I'm going to close this up like this. I should have brought over one of my pegs. I'll just go and quickly grab a peg. There we go. I have a peg here. It's just that it's easier to do while it's closed. So I'm going to close that up like that, and I'm going to put some double-sided tape through the middle on the section that I haven't written on. Like so. I only close that up because it's easier to actually pop it together. And now I'm going to put that 3 against that 3. And I've got the one with the 1 on it. And I'm going to do exactly the same again. trying to get it roughly in the same place. I'll put my double-sided tape there. Make sure that's pushed down. Bring that out. And then put my one next to my one. There. Okay, now I'm going to go around and glue these together. So I'm going to grab my piece that says 1, and on the one side I'm going to put glue all the way around. And I'm going to grab my other piece that says 1 with the 1 showing, and I'm going to glue them together by pushing them together while they're flat on the bench top. That way I can make sure that they come together nicely at the top, like so, and along that side there. Once I'm happy with that, I can give that a good squish down. Now I can fold that up like that and give it a good squish down that way, so that I know that it is all stuck together nicely. Once I've done that, I'm going to turn that so that I've got my 2 here, and I'm going to bring my other piece with the 2 on it, and I'm going to put some glue on this piece that says 2. Now if you feel confident that you're not going to mess them up, you don't need to put the numbers on it. I just find it easier. So I'm going to then bring them together like before, making sure that they line up nicely along this edge and across the top edge, and they should line up nicely down that edge as well. And we're going to squish that together right around like that. We can then push it together and give it a good squeeze together like so again. Alright, once we've done that, we've got one more to go. So we've got our 3 here and our 3 here. So we're going to pop some glue on our 3. Open your card up. Bring these 2 together again once more time. As I say, this is one of the pieces you can't do beforehand. I guess I could have glued all the others together, but it's one of them things I think you need to see it done to see it go together, and making sure it's nicely on all 3 sides, or down that side, turn that side and that side. If, like me, you've got a little bit hanging out that side, we can see if we can't push it in. If not, I'm going to pull it apart and I'm going to do that again. Before it gets too dry. Alright, so mine was a little bit away from the bottom down there, and I didn't like the way that sat, so I've pulled that apart, brought that back in, and now I've pushed it together much better. That's better. That looks so, oops, that one went down instead of up. Much better. So now I'm going to just put my thing on there for a second, hold it together so that it can have a second to dry. While I'm doing that, I'm going to do my little bit of stamping and put my last 2 pieces together. So I've got one piece with another piece of DSP on it. Which is going to be for the front of the card. And my one piece with that I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on for the back of the card, so you can write your message on to it. Oops, I don't know what that was, it fell on the floor. So I'm going to have to cut it because that was actually the instructions, so I know where to stamp. Okay, so I've got there, may all your wishes come true, which I'm going to pop on the back of this one. Right, so alright, now that they're done, this is dried enough, we're going to bring this open. I'm actually going to keep it closed actually for a moment, it's just a little bit easier, and I'm going to bring in my ribbon and I'm going to whatever my tool is, pull off my tape and put on one piece of ribbon. Now I'm not worried that my tape is a lot thicker than my ribbon, because I'm actually going to now, because that's the back of the card, I'm actually going to put my saying for the back of the card onto there. Whoops, it's all falling open. So I know that the bottom of the card is where all these pieces go in. So let's bring that around and place my sentiment one on the back here. Once I've pressed that down, I can do the same again. I can then pop my peg on there, turn that over, and using my picker tool, I can pull my tape off, put my other piece of ribbon onto here like so, and then I will glue this one onto the front. Let me put my pin in my glue for a moment. Which way up does this go? That looks about the right way. So let's pop that on there. Okay, so our card is now ready to decorate. So what I will do is I'm going to actually tie this into a bow here, open. Oops, well, I will if I can get my finger out of the middle of it. Okay, and I will show you what I've got. Now I've got my happy birthday to go on the front, and I have love, faith, and there should be another one around somewhere, hope. Hope is believing in a brighter tomorrow. Faith is being sure of what you cannot see. And love never gives up. I've only got 3 sayings, so I'm actually going to do them one at a time. And I'm going to I'm not putting one on the last one because I'm not sure what I want to put on the last one. And I'm going to just pop this into the middle here that says love never gives up. Once I figure out what I'm going to put on the last one, I will do it, and then you will see it with the photographs. I don't want any bulk in this because it just makes it way too bulky. So, and then I'm going to put faith, and we don't want to make it too bulky because it's actually quite bulky as it is being sure of what you cannot see, and hope. As I say, I'm not sure, as you can see I stamped that on the other side and it didn't come out very nice, so I might just put a flower or something in there. I'm not 100% sure. That's why it's good to have 2 sides to your paper, because if you stamp it wrong, you can stamp it on the other side. Okay, is believing in a brighter tomorrow. So that's our card. Let me undo this and we will now close it up. I don't have any gems here, otherwise I would put some on the front. I will do that ready for you to actually see the photographs in the finished product. So that's our card, and as I say, it's only small, but I will put my happy birthday on the front. Now, have I got any dimensionals? Yes. There we go. and I'll put my happy birthday on the front of that card like so. And that's our little card. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pin in my glue, and I'm going to bring in the pieces to make the box. Now the pieces to make the box are, I don't know because the paperwork all fell on the floor. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay. The main part of the box is actually the smaller piece, and it's only so tiny, a smaller piece. So this piece is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. That is the box. This is the lid, so I'm going to put an L in the middle there so that I know when I'm doing this. And this piece is 5 5/16 by 5 5/16 for the lid. You're also going to need a piece of for your layer, which measures 3 inches square, and then a piece of designer series paper that measures 2 3/4 inch square. So I'm going to glue those two pieces together. And pop my pin in my glue, if I can get the pin in there. There we go. So that they can sit on the side and just dry while we are doing the rest of it. Okay. So we are going to, what have I done with that? Oh no, here we go, here it is. We're going to take the box base part, which is the 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 piece. We're going to bring in our scoreboard, and we're going to score this at 1 inch on all 4 sides using the small end of the ball. 1 inch, turn, 1 inch, turn, 1 inch, turn, and 1 inch. And we're actually going to do exactly the same on our lid piece. That's why it's good to, because of the fact that there's only that tiny little bit difference. 1 inch, turn, 1 inch, turn, 1 inch, turn. Oops, my thumb was in the way. Turn, 1 inch, turn. Okay, and I'm going to go and find my, oh come on, I can't find it now. Oh, there it is. That one fell on the floor. Alright, so we're going to start with our base of our box, and we're going to fold and burnish all the score lines all the way around. Once we've done that, we're going to cut one corner up to the next score line and notch it out. I'm going to do the same on the next one. Turn it around, and we're going to do exactly the same again at the other end. Okay, now because we've got this marked as the lid, and I'm not worried whether that's on the inside or the out. If it's on the inside, I can rub it out. If it's on the outside, it will be covered. I'm going to do exactly the same. Oh gosh, what on earth is all these bits around here? Like dead fly bits or something. And once again, we're going to do the same. We're going to cut our lid. Oops. Give that a bit more of a wedge. That's a bit better. And the same on the other side. Turn it around 180 degrees and do the other side the same. Once we've done that, we can move all these bits of rubbish out of the way, and we're going to stick our box together. So we're going to just grab a corner and bring that up And same with the next corner, making sure it's nice and square, bringing that up. Oops. Again, and one more. Once again, bringing that up. Now we know that's the base because it doesn't have an L on it, so but we're going to do exactly the same for our lid. And the last one. Okay, so that's got the L on it, so we're going to now put our piece of designer series paper and layer onto the top of that. We could have done that before, but it really doesn't matter which way around you do that. Okay, just bring my bone folder in, give it a squish from that side. Let me put my pin in my glue without sticking the pin in my finger. And now I'm going to bring in, I've got a 1/2 inch hole punch, and I'm going to punch, and it doesn't matter which two sides, but opposite each other. We're going to punch in about halfway and making sure it's roughly in the middle there. A finger hole. Turn it around so the finger hole's on the opposite side from you, and do exactly the same on the other side. Oh gosh, get in there. Okay, now I haven't got anything to embellish the top with, but I'm sure I will find something for when I do my photography part of it. The box, this is just that 1/4 inch bigger all the way round, so that this will fit in there nicely with the little bow on the side. And then my lid fits on there nice and snug. See, look at that. See, that one fits on really lovely. I must have measured this box here too small or something like that, because I use the same measurements for the lid. So that is our box, which I haven't decorated either of them, with our lovely little carousel cards inside. Let's open them up so you can see them again. I will embellish these, but look at that. They look so tiny to give, but when you open them up and put them on the side to display them, they are just lovely and lovely size. And if you actually put this box together like so, I can't get the two boxes in together now. Get in there, that's it. Get in. You could pop it on the top so that it actually looks like it would swing around, because it's actually called a carousel card. Look at that. It actually sits on there and swings around. Absolutely beautiful. What a lovely way to display that. And as I say, they're both exactly the same. This one, I'm so cross that I bought cheaper paper once, years and years ago, and never used it, obviously. And I know why now. Once again, let's pop him on the top. Yay, look at that. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? I love them. This one I just put little sayings that said, let your dreams soar, and it's got like oh, what do you call it, hot air balloons. You always lift me up. And then on this one it's just got another little aeroplane there. And on the front it just says wish big. On the back it says up, up and away, hooray, it's your birthday. What a lovely card, a lovely idea. It's called a carousel card. I have seen them done heaps of times, but I thought I would like to make a presentation box for them as well, which is what I have done. And so If you would like the written tutorial for this box and the card, please head down here to the bottom to Di's Den for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you'll find the link to my Facebook group called Di's Den for Stamping, Crafting, which I already said that, Tutorials. There you will have to, if you're not a member, just join. It's free to join. You just need to answer the question. If you don't answer the question, I will actually send you a reason why I haven't accepted you. But I'm sure you'll remember to do that. And I only have a couple of little rules there, so, and one of them is be grateful for what everything is and kind to others. So if you've enjoyed that, or you would like to know more about it, these products on this one, except for the 12 by 12 piece of card, are all current. This one's all retired. So I will see you again next time. Bye for now.